Hello everyone, I am Deepali Thakur from first year Computer Science Engineering, and firstly I would like to thank you all to allow me to begin today's group discussion on OTT versus theatre. Now I would like to start with my opinion that this topic is something which recently caught everyone's attention. In the pre-COVID-19 era, when a movie gets released, we had two options. Either we go to theatre or wait for months for its digital release. At that time, OTT platforms were not used by everyone, but ever since COVID 19 spreads, the growth of OTT platforms has increased by an astounding rate. As we all know, OTT stands for over the top, and what OTT provide is a variety of content on our Androids, Windows, and iOS devices through just an internet streaming at reasonable prices. And you could enjoy the content safely at your home. Now, though OTT has been proved as a reliable source of entertainment in this pandemic, what do you all think about that? Is it better than the experience we get in theaters? Is theaters can be replaced by OTTs?
See, it was not years ago that people like me didn't even knew what OTT is, but today most of us know. And it is quite logical because the amount of freedom and choice that OTT provides us is simply unparalleled. Even if we see the revenue of theaters versus OTT, theaters in 2021 made $22 billion, whereas OTT made just $2 billion. The difference is definitely huge, but it is filling up very fast. And with the coming 5G and 6G technologies, the world is simply awaiting a big OTT boom. And that is what all the data indicates towards. And we all are gonna witness.
I would like to say that yes, OTT has been like a really good friend in this time of pandemic. But I feel like the kind of experience we get in theaters, like the sounding system, the like the people around us, like the joy when we watch a movie, especially some big movies. I think that is kind of irreplaceable. You're watching one movie at a 40-inch screen, and then you're watching at a big screen. So these kind of things are differ. So I will stick with theater. So in my opinion, theaters are priority. OTT is good, but OTT can replace theaters. That is my point.
Yes, I agree with Athar bhai, and we have also have option of watching movie in 3D and 4D in theater also.
I also agree
Yeah,
with Athar, as we know that there are moments of hooting in the theaters which exceptionally add an experience to the theaters.
But I would
According
like
to
to add one more point about it. Like you have seen in nowadays, mostly people are not hooting or they are not excited for the movie like they used to be before. You would see like most of the people are using cell phones in the theaters. It's not authentic anymore. Don't you think that?
yeah, I agree with Avirat. Just like he's saying, the peoples in theater while seeing the movie generally uses their phone, which is not probably the nice thing or can be usable thing in the theaters. That's why I would like to prefer OTT in my views. And just because OTT is cheap,
still is strong in adapting OTTs in India, and it has increased the growth of OTTs by 60%, with the estimated growth of 45%. And India is likely to emerge as the second OTT platform country after USA.
I think what you all guys are
But
saying.
in
Yes, I'm
OTT,
also agree with it.
Let Chinmay go first.
Yes, I also agree with Darshan's point of view because and one more profit of OTT is that it provides us great mobility. In theaters, you have to sit totally 2 and 2.5 hours totally with there, but by using OTT, you can see movies anywhere freely.
Yeah, but the thing with OTT, like some
yeah,
people
I
are
agree
saying
with
that
Chinmay,
people use.
and the same thoughts are like me also. When the peoples were suffering from depression and all the anxieties in the lockdown period and a pandemic, the peoples were only feeling enjoyable through the medium of OTT, and that was the main reason for most of the peoples to remain alive in this world.
Yeah, but the thing is, what theaters and OTT difference is that okay, yes, OTT is good, you can watch it at home, But theater not only provides you the movie, it is also a place of social connection. You meet people, and you can't. There are two, three movies. Like even like if there is a Salman Khan movie or there is a Akshay Kumar movie, you can see people riding on trucks, filled with trucks, go to see these movies. They treat that as a enjoyment, like they love. And with OTT, the chances of piracy are higher. Okay, people get their HD prints on other illegal websites earlier when the movies get released in OTT. But if they are released in 3D, sorry, I mean in theaters, they do get the pirated copy, but it's a very bad recording. So why would someone prefer that camera recording? Instead, they would just go and see that movie in theaters. So theater has that advantage, which OTT doesn't have.
No.
I agree with Athar, as well as while using OTT, we should be having a good internet connection. We have to pay a lot before getting subscription to OTT, which makes an extra load on the family for paying subscriptions.
I am not agree with you because OTT is cheaper than theaters. A movie theater costs between 200 to 300 for a movies generally, but a lowest subscription that Netflix give in India is of
OTT, yeah, OTT also provide variety of movies from other countries, but in theaters there are not much movies, only Bollywood.
Yes, I agree with you, but can you please explain us that how the poor people can afford smartphones, smart TVs, and all those things?
I think.
But according
Poor
to me,
people
poor
also
people
cannot
can't
go to theaters.
afford theaters also. Yeah.
Poor
it's the
people,
same thing.
yeah.
I don't know how poor will afford theaters. It's the entertainment. It's their choice. Because if you see, there is a in Kota. I live in Kota. I can tell you example about that. In Inox Kota, one samosa costs 45 rupees. So theaters are also expensive. So it's an entertainment and it's about the choice. What poor people prioritize.
Theaters are more expensive than OTT.
And some people who watch movie only on some special occasion, they do not want to watch movie. Theater is a good option for them who want
I think
do not want more movie.
I mean, it's not that ever since COVID theaters didn't do any profit. Like Suryavanshi, I think the latest example, and Spider-Man No Way Home, they do these two other movies which really succeeded even during the times of COVID. So it's not that ever since COVID theaters are done for. OTT has its benefit, but theaters also have doing great. So it's not they're not.
But some people are saying that it is the main reason of the third wave also of COVID. So sometimes being put by putting your life in risk, that doesn't make any sense to watch movie and make full of entertainment.
No, but theater doesn't allow.
And some people live in rural areas.
You were talking about
They can go-
vaccination, right, Athar? You were gonna mention about the vaccination.
Yes,
I
yes.
went to watch the movie No Way Home in theaters. They didn't ask me for the vaccination. They didn't ask a thing. So
You
it's
are
not.
vaccinated, no?
I am vaccinated. My brother wasn't.
Okay.
But
Maybe-
they didn't ask for a thing.
Maybe one theater, but still.
I would
they
like
have
to say
the
something.
in major cities. Yes, Deepak.
Some people live in rural areas. They can't watch movies on theater because they don't have theater nearby them. So OTT can be a good option for them.
Yes, OTT, but yes, OTT is reliable on that thing. And I can agree one thing that OTT provides at a reasonable rate large number of contents. Even something like K-dramas, like Korean dramas, or people who are interested in animes, they can watch that on Netflix. It has huge variety, and they can watch it anywhere, anytime. For some, they can just pause the movie. I can go for their work and then they watch it again. So that OTT is like in that way it is good.
We have talked about the advantages and disadvantages.
You are right.
Let's talk
I
about
also want to add on it.
Let's talk about something else. We have talked about the advantages and disadvantages. Let's talk about how OTT is our future, and do you think it's our future or not?
Yes, I think so.
I would like to say something.
Yes, Chelsea. Yes, Chelsea.
In my opinion, when people in 70s and 80s were introduced to televisions, this kind of debate would also have been taken place at that time. So now after OTT is introduced, So this kind of debate also started again because means people will prefer both in future. I guess so because they have separate features. Like people today want content only. So we cannot say that content is only on OTT. It is also in cinemas. So it is audience only who is going to choose what to watch and what not to. And movies with low budget are going to have profit with OTT platforms.
Yes.
And like movies like Avengers or Bahubali kind, they are for cinematic experience. People would like to visit to theaters to go and watch that kind of movies. So yeah, it's like make it's only on makers that they have to make a good content for people so they can people can watch where in theaters or in OTT everywhere, I guess.
I want to add something what Chelsea is saying that yes, I totally agree with her. And there are three main entertainment services going on in the country. One, television, second is theaters, and third is OTT. Now, I am not comparing OTT and theaters. Yes, they both will coexist, but I can definitely and surely say that OTTs will end the era of televisions or
I kind of
cable.
disagree there because yes, maybe OTT movies are great to watch, but after 2 3 weeks they directly come on television only. So some people who can wait, they won't
But
just.
you have to watch advertisements on television. OTT do not do
No,
that.
I completely disagree with Athar. Means because some OTT movies or some OTT episodes are just especially made for that only. Like we may have a best examples over here like Lucifer and Money Heist. They are the best content in the world and can be only viewed on the OTT platforms only.
No. They are pirated also.
I
We
disagree
can
with
download it
Ayush.
from.
As I
We
disagree
can
with
download it
Ayush
from
as we know
internet.
that
But that's the
we
illegal
know
source.
that we get.
Sometimes that's the illegal source. And
I
that
disagree with
brings
Ayush as
some
we know
This is
that
not
we get
illegal
addicted
as
to
it is
OTT.
on internet.
I think we should stick to the legal ways, not the
That's what
rules.
I was saying. We are just diverting from the topic. Let's stick to the topic and let's talk about, do you think OTT needs censorship or not?
I don't think OTT needs censorship
No, I
because
don't think.
I don't think because the content which are on OTT, it may be uncensored, but there is a group of audience which like this kind of stuff. Like if I tell you, some movies are really good with content, like Gangs of Wasseypur, but these movies they don't earn much in theaters. But at the same time, these movies, if they were released in OTT, they will earn more, like views and stuff. They will earn more. Sacred Games is a series which you can't. If it was a movie, it's a series. But if it was a movie, it would cause firstly a lot of riots because of its content, and it would won't earn much in theater. But at the same time, this series earned a lot in on Netflix India. In fact, it was the very first series of which released on the OTT platform, and it kind of uplifted the OTT trend in India. So it is a very successful example of OTT platform.
I'm
I
agree with
partially
Athar.
agree with you, but there is some need of censorship in OTTs. Like you talked about sacred games. In this, there is a person's personal mobile number has been revealed, so it caused a lot of problems to him. So it needs some censorship, and there is some movies in OTTs that particularly targets some people or some caste, so it needed that they don't do this. So we need some type of a censorship so they don't personally affect their emotional relationships and sometimes of this. Yeah, but
but
not
it's
all
but
over this.
it's but the things the movie is showing, it's clearly mentioned over there in the description of that movie. It's the
But
person's
I
view that
I
he has to view that movie or not.
The
But
thing is,
Ayush, don't you
Yeah, but
think
just
the
like I
censorship
talked
should be
that
there
when
because the
today.
most
Yeah,
of
I
the
completely
consumers
think.
of
Yeah, the
the
censorship
censorship
should be
should
there.
be because most
Yes.
of the users around are youngsters, around like 89%, more than 89% are less than 30 years old. So don't you think they are affecting their mind and we need
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little
that
bit of
should be
Yeah, they
censorship?
affect.
that should be there.
and
And that's an
Censorship.
advantage
and the
of
children
theaters, right?
OTT does
There
not,
is
I think
like
so that
in
more than
theater.
OTT, social media is affecting them more. If they are on social media, then they are exposed to everything.
But we are
no,
here
I
to
don't
speak
think.
about
And
OTT versus
regulated
theater, not social
censorship should
media.
be there on OTT
Look,
platforms.
I don't
A
think we
regulated
can.
censorship.
I
It
don't
should
think we
be
can.
consumer's choice.
Look, I don't think we
Yes,
can.
that's the right point.
I don't think we can like literally like put bars on them what they want to create, but we can like make a separate section for 18 plus contents or 16 plus contents. है ना? That's the
Yes,
one
yes,
thing
I
we can,
agree with you.
that's one thing we can do it. Otherwise, I don't think we can like tell them to don't stop this kind of language or this kind of thing, because that is creativity, that is art, that is show, and let it or even it's vulgar, but whatever they're showing is the reality of that world, and it happens in real world. We see people like these, and we can see some situation happening like this. So they show the reality, and
And I completely agree with Athar. And that reality sometimes shows the truth of the whole movie and gives us the good quality content in that
I
field
also agree with
and in
Ayush
that
and Athar.
aspect.
Now,
I want to say something. Both OTT and theater have their own advantages and disadvantages. OTT have a lot of scope for growth in future, but that doesn't mean OTT can replace theater. Both will entertain people in future.
I think like theaters
OTT
should
will
be
grow in future because of COVID.
I think theaters should be for big masala movies, like some big franchise movie. Like there is an upcoming, I think the Batman movie, which I don't think anybody would watch on OTT. People would prefer theater every time for this. So I think theaters should be like for some megastar movies like Rajinikanth, the Salman Khan. Yes, these movies will earn because they have a lot of fans and people will go to theaters. And OTT can be from people who are like new, like from newcomers, from which are like more content generated, which focus on content rather than masala and all the other comedy and
Okay,
stuff.
now let's talk about theater. What do you think? What things we should do to improve our theater system?
I think
Maybe
India
more
should
diversity.
put some control on piracy. India should update its rules.
Yes, they should.
I'm just talking about the theater system, the theater working in India.
I think the mobiles. First of all, I think before entering the hall, they should take the mobiles, like a locker type, because piracy starts from there only. The mobile phones and the camera.
to improve theaters, we have to improve.
I think there are a lot of challenge for movie theater to stay in a
It should be less expensive. Theaters are very more expensive.
Yes.
And they should also focus on their quality content like 3D movies and IMAX and 4DX, because there are pupils that
They would
watch
post
in
more than
theaters are
easily.
like
They
that.
would post more than we can't
Huh?
get both
Yeah,
the
but
things.
now people are watching these movies only theaters now. They prefer OTT
Yeah.
for small movies.
But according to me, there are
I
many
think
That's a
things.
great
theaters
point. That's a
should
great point.
approach
That's a great
the-
point. That's a great
I
point.
think
The
the
theater
theater
would
should
be
approach
giving you
to the
advantage.
towns, the small cities, towns, and rural areas so that viewership can be gained more.
I feel like theaters should stick to cinematic universal movies, like a big budget movie, and more diversity should be there. Like we mostly see Bollywood, Hollywood, and maybe few Punjabi movies, not more than that. Some South movies, but
South
there are
Indian
other
movies.
movies. Yes, South Indian movies. There are other movies like some Japanese movies, some animated movies. They don't have much screens. They should be equal screens. Or I think the more content-rich films should stick to OTT. And then I think if the COVID is, I don't know, sometimes it comes and goes. And if COVID is there, then some for only a small time in theaters, then these movies should be released to OTT so that both can earn and both can stay in a balance.
Both OTT and theater have advantages and disadvantages.
My opinion, I will always
I
prefer
think
OTT because it is quite affordable. And actually, I used to watch movies in fragments, not at once. So I think for
Yeah.
that, OTT is best one.
Yeah.
And moreover,
I completely
you
agree
can
with
use
her.
it anytime, anywhere. So I will always prefer.
Yeah, but
It's time now. We should
theater will also.
we should conclude the
But we know
topic
that-
now.
I think
Yes, sure.
It's the time now. We should conclude the topic. So as per our discussion, it's sure that both theaters and OTT have their own disadvantages and advantages. Though we are sure about it that OTT can never replace theaters. I repeat, OTT can never replace theaters. Though OTT have a lot of potential and have a lot of scope in future, but as a users and as a consumers, we know we have lot of opinions and we have lot of interest, and we could choose according to our interest. Okay, let's end this discussion. Thank you and have a
Thank
great
you,
day.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.